right, you're welcome to another section of Free Flow, where conversations are raw, unfiltered, and necessary. On this episode, we are seated together with the Senior Special Assistant to the Executive Governor of Osun State on Investment Promotions Agency, Honorable Oluwaseyi Olaitan, and also who doubles as the Technical Advisor Research Planning Strategies of the Governor's Campaign Council, TICC. This day, Honorable, good afternoon this afternoon.
Good afternoon, the uncle.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well.
I can see you're looking very sharp. Let's quickly talk about that. What is the secret behind it?
The secret is my pride that we promoted a governor and we told the people that the governor is going to do well and is doing more than well.
All right. So today we will be talking about governance. We'll be talking about politics. We'll be talking about what is where is the state we are now when it comes to the politics of the state, and also we'll be going into the country at large. But today specifically, we'll be talking about the good governance of or is it good governance or political branding? Then we'll be talking about our present governor in Osun State, in person of Governor Ademola Adeleke. Let me ask you, truly, would we say that the governor has walked to a state where he has earned to be or to take the second phase of his being a governor, or he doesn't even deserve to go for the second term?
Let me start by saying that before we got into government, before the governor won the election, we've always had a robust relationship, and he would tell us the things that he wants to do. And I can tell you for a fact that he has surpassed our expectations. He has done more than we thought he could do, even though we believed that he would perform excellently. So his performance is above A1 in terms of infrastructural development, in terms of care for the civil servants, care for the retirees of different categories, in terms of social welfare. The function of every government, the first one, is social welfare and security of the people. And without that, nothing else makes sense. The governor has shown us very clearly that he is for the people and is working very hard for the people. You can see the evidence everywhere.
All right, let me say that we are here to just discuss what has been the basic questions in the mind of the residents and the global world at large who are watching presently at what is happening in Osun State. Let's say that the popularity the government is gaining right now, is it driven by the achievement of what the governor has done, or is just by the large publicity and branding that we're actually seeing out there?
It's driven, I believe, by the giant strides of the governor. If you've been in Osun State for quite a long time that I've been here, you would know that we've never experienced a governor like this before. There are two faces to Osun State. There is a government that will prioritize social welfare and then they will do little projects. There's a government that will prioritize projects and totally ignore social welfare. But this is a governor that has combined the two effectively, not minding the inadequacies and paucity of funds that we faced in nearly 2 years. The governor has made sure that he has touched every sector of our lives. Every sector of the people's lives, he has not prioritized one over the other. So the people have seen that evidently Adeleke is what I would personally define as a miracle governor. We've not seen this kind of thing before in Osun State.
All right, so that brings me to my question. It says, what has changed most specifically in Osun State under this government? What would you say has been the change that we can actually see?
Yes, when you introduced me as the SSA to the governor on investment promotions.
Yeah.
One of the things that we enjoy in my agency is to drive investment into the state. Now, why Osun State has not been industrialized in the past is because there is a very, very serious infrastructural deficit. And let me tell you this, investment pursues enabling environments. If you don't provide enabling environments, no investor will come into your state. So what the governor did in the beginning of his tenure is to bridge the investment gap, the infrastructural gap in the state. Nobody wants to come to a place where there are single lane roads. Nobody wants to come into a place that is not beautiful. Nobody wants to come into a place that is not aesthetically pleasing and properly planned. So what the governor did is his first 100 days, he tried to do the projects of past governments, not minding that it is not his government, because every government is supposed to be a continuum.
Yeah.
Then the next thing, we focused on 100 billion infrastructural plan. No government in Osun State has ever been able to do that kind of thing. All right. And it's not about money. It is about the will to want to do things for the people. If they give me rice in my house, it is personal to me. If they give you money, it is personal to you.
Sure.
But you see road, you see bridges, you see light. This is something that is communal development. It is not personal to anybody. Both the poor, the rich, and the middle class have access to benefiting from the government of Governor Ademola Adeleke. And that's very, very important. We've had governments twice in this state that whenever they are in government, people suffer. And their excuse is always that there is no money. But then you ask them, why is it that when you people are in power, that's when there is no money? Is it that the other government usually prints money? I remember very clearly when I was young, I got introduced to the world by my parents who are middle class. But the middle class of when I was young is the rich class of today. You know, the civil servants of then were the example of the rich people of today. Do you get? Now, the first time that I experienced poverty in my life was during the era of the Alliance for Democracy, a very wicked government of B.C. Akande, very extremely wicked government, like the devil's government. And then we started using sawdust to cook. And exactly because these people do not prioritize the interest of the people. The next time we had to face that kind of thing was still another retrogressive government that they call progressive government. Is properly retrogressive, and people started earning quarter salary, people started earning half salary, and then you started hearing of modulated salary. Now, every time the People's Democratic Party or our kind of government comes into place, everything stabilizes. But now, Governor Ademola Adeleke has taken it one step further. We want to clear the mess of the past, give Osun State a good present, and then develop us into a bright future.
Okay. You've made mention of some things, and you talked about the project and all of that the governor has done, and you've talked about the road dualization and all of that. But now, coming to the next election that's coming, let's talk about which project should the citizens point to as evidence in progress in Osun State?
They can, most importantly, talk about the welfare of the people. Osun State is already becoming an industrialized state, but before now, it's a civil service state, unless we want to deceive ourselves.
Yeah.
The bulk of the money that comes into the economy comes through the civil service. So when you don't take care of them, you don't take care of the people. Now, what we've been able to do is for the governor has been able to pay allowances, salaries, emoluments, pensions, and gratuities of the past. In fact, when these monies were owed, a government had come in the same party and refused to pay it. The reason they refused to pay it is because they hate the people of Osun State. When they are in other states too, they do the same thing. You know, now the governor has made sure that these monies have come into the hands of the people that are still alive. Because at the time when they will stop paying our parents, a lot of them died. A lot of children became school dropouts. A lot of wives became other people's wives exactly because their husbands could not bring resources to the house. That is a very, very important thing. Because even if you build roads and people are hungry, it is not people that are hungry that want to use the road. Now, that's one. Two, look at the level of projects that is being done. Let me shock you. The governor has not borrowed a single penny in the last 3.5 years and has been able to do several hundreds of kilometers of road, federal roads, state roads, and local government roads. He has been able to combine paying salaries of even local government staffs without getting local government's allocation, state government staffs. He has also paid contributing pensions of pensioners that retired before him. He has been able to pay debts that the previous government owed. In fact, Governor Etola and his cabinet benefited from his legacy because when they left, after they had gone, the half salaries that they collected in the past, the governor had paid it. All of these things has contributed to the socio-economic development of the state. And cumulatively, I can tell you for the fact, that is why 80% of the people of Osun State are supporting us and they're standing with the governor.
Okay, so let me now ask you, what long-term benefits do you think this project will be to the people of Osun State? You talk about the bridges, you talk about the road. What long-term benefit do you think it will be?
I believe that there is today interconnectivity between all the towns in Osun State. And it's very, very important. Let's look at it practically. When these projects are completed, people can live in Ede and work in Osogbo. Because no matter where you want to come to Osogbo through from Ede,
there's a road.
It is very fast. Now you can stay in Agumbe-Ilewo and work in Abere. There is nowhere you can pass through in Osogbo that is go slow. Now you can work in Ikirun and come into Osogbo. You can be in Dagbolu and come into Osogbo. Now, when you have interconnectivity, you improve the lives of the people. You improve commerce, you improve trade, you improve investment. You see, commerce, trade, and investment is a major yardstick to improve the life of the people because people need finance to survive.
Sure.
Now, you can also draw foreign direct investment. For example, if you bring $100 billion into Osun State, that company comes in, that company cannot bring all their staffs from elsewhere. They would have to employ your people. Those their staff cannot buy food from elsewhere. They will have to buy from your people. Those their staff cannot bring their houses from wherever it is that they're coming from. They have to rent houses from your people. So all of these things have a way of rubbing positively on the lives of the people. And our people must know that we must sustain this policy of positivity. We cannot go back to the days of Egypt, biblical Egypt, the days of slavery, the days where people don't get paid and politicians are feeling nice. The day where governors will call our parents 23,000 foolish civil servants, as we've had in Osun State. The days where people will be retrenched on the basis of nothing. It is better to retrench, to reduce the number of your political appointees than to reduce the number of the workforce. Because I can tell you for a fact, that is what Osun State thrives on today.
Okay, I think what I'm about to ask you, you've made mention of it already, but I think let's still buttress more on it. It has to do with the what's current improvements of the civil servants, especially, and the pensioners experienced under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Adeleke.
Let me give you a practical example. When I was young, I did not know that my parents were not rich. In fact, I used to think that my parents were very rich because I was enjoying myself. My sister was working, my mother was working, my father was working. When we got to Osun State, my father was Assistant Director News and Current Affairs in OSBC. On one day, I saw very terrible look in the face of my mother. She has been retrenched. You know, it was not a time when we had phones. So if anything is happening to you until you get home, before you can tell your... Yes. My sister came and she has been retrenched. So my sister didn't have a job. My mother didn't have a job. And they almost retrenched my father. We went through hell. Now, if you now ask what people today are benefiting in the civil service, what they are benefiting is job stability. Let me not tell you the next time. When my father retired in 2005, his pension was 56,000 naira. You know, Nigeria was fairly good at the time. And 56,000 is a lot of money. And he retired on the highest cadre of the civil service, the highest cadre, and it's 56K, his last salary. When their government came back again after Ilola, they reduced it by 50%. 56,000 into 2 will give you 27,500 or thereabouts. 56. It will give you 28K.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, 28K We started using 28K to survive. Then my father got sick as a result of old age, and that money could only be useful for drugs. I can tell you for a fact, if not for that, maybe the man wouldn't have died. So personally, do I have a grudge against them? Yes, I do. Now, there is this thing that they used to do then. It's called I'm Alive. I'll take my father from home, a sick man who has dedicated his life to the governance and to the development of Osun State, now became sick. I'll take him there. And then I'll see other people bringing their fathers, their mothers who are on wheelchair, who are shaking like this, to the place on 10,000 naira salary pension, on 5,000 naira pension. Let me not tell you what this governor did when he came there. Osun State has one of the best tables for payment of civil service in Nigeria. As of today, there are states still in this country that still pay the previous 33,000 naira minimum wage. There are some states who are paying 70,000 naira minimum wage. There are some states whose level 1 to level 7 earn the correct minimum wage, but the chart does not reflect in the upper cadre. Osun State today reflects the minimum wage up to the last cadre of the civil service. Osun State today has also increased our parents' pension. Osun State today has paid gratuities. When my father retired, he got his gratuity 8 times. Imagine that you served for 35 years and then they want to pay you 3 million or 2.5 million and then they pay you 2.5 million 8 times. It's not easy for anything. But these people now today can then get their gratuity, get it in bulk, and use it to stabilize their lives.
Good, yeah.
Because these are people that have given their self and their service and their dedication to the development of the state. Without them, we are nothing.
Okay, let's talk about the future of the country, the future of the state, which are the youth, right? This administration, how do you think they've been able to create opportunities for the youth, the improvement of the well-being of the youth in the state? You're also a youth, so you should be able to relate very well. You're in the government also. So what do you think that this government has done to affect the youth, basically?
You have also mentioned one of it. I'm a youth. I'm a young person. I understand the aspiration and the needs of the young people. When we were young, it is old men that used to hold this position that we have now. Men in their 50s, men in their 60s, who do not understand the needs of that era. We are not blaming the old people, but there is a way I can understand your needs that your father in his own era cannot understand it. So the governor has equipped the young people of this state in several capacities. I know special advisors, I know special assistants, I know senior special assistants who are below 30 years old. This is the first time. I know people who are above 30 years. If I can tell you for a fact that at least I know 100 young people who are participating actively and changing policies and giving directions to the policies of the state. And it is very, very important. If you claim to love the youth and then you give us, oh yes, 10K, 20K, how can we sustain on that? How can we also be part of the decision making of the state?
Yeah.
Now, what the governor has done is to ensure that he equips quality young people so that we can serve as examples to our friends, to also know that we are really not too young to run. Now, if you look at the House of Assembly, you will notice a particular trend. There is only just about 1 or 2, 3 old men there. The rest of the people are young people. That is what our party deliberately did as a policy of the party. And when you see your friend in an office, he understands. He understands how fast the world wants to move. For example, if you come to my agency and then you want to promote an investment, you want to bring foreign direct investment, I know that what should be done in 3 days should not be done in 2 years. I know that there is speed in investment because of the growing increase in prices of things. If you want to build a house today and then your budget is 40 million for a 3-bedroom flat, if you wait for the next 6 months, I can tell you that that 40 million may not be able to roof that building. We know these things. The older people are also very good. They can give us their experience. But the young people in this government are giving the government a drive. And everywhere you see the governor, you see that he identifies with us, he strengthens us, and then he has also made us an integral part of his re-election campaign, the way he did in his first term.
Okay, so real quick, let's talk about this. And in your own view, what do you think that the opposition party, honestly, the opposition party that used to be in government in Osun State, how would you check by value how the state was when they were there and what the state is like now? Are we moving forward, or is stagnant, or that of when they were there was much more better than what we're experiencing now?
There is no way it can be much better. Let me give you an example of a man that is a spectacular failure. You know, failure has grade. D7 is still fail. E8 is still fail. F9 is still fail. But that is the grading of exams. By the grading of the people of this society, ex-governor Etola, that we can see his governance just now, is a spectacular failure. So let's say A1 in failure. Now, we had a government in Osun State that 3 years after their government, you cannot point to whatever it is that you can point to in town that they've been able to do. In fact, you can still remember what Oyinlola did today. You can recall Osun State University. You can recall the dual carriage from Akoda to Olaiya that used to be a single lane. You can recall all those things, but you cannot recall what this immediate past government has done. Spectacular failure.
But there was a bridge.
I like the fact that you mentioned a bridge. That was a bit. Very nice stuff. Imagine that is the only thing you can talk about in a 4-year tenure. How does it make you feel?
I'm trying to think of another thing.
When
I'm done.
Now, if I mention Adeleke, you don't have to think. These things comes to you. Does it not? Sure. You can think of Ogefia to Lameko. Imagine that in a beautiful, in a supposedly beautiful state capital like Osun State, you are coming from Olaiya and it's a double lane. You are coming from Old Garage and it's a double lane. But when you get to Old Garage and then you are approaching Rasco to Okefia, it's a single lane. Then it becomes a bottleneck. And then when you go from Okefia to Lameko, it's also a single lane. It becomes a bottleneck. The government have shown very clearly that today's government, that they care about the people. Oyetola had the opportunity to prove himself for 4 years. He had the opportunity to pay our parents' pensions. He had the opportunity to pay the debt that was owed by a government that was chief of staff on. Do you know what a chief of staff is? The engine room of any government.
Sure.
The engine room of any government. So if you see a failed government, it's a product of the activities of the chief of staff. If you see a successful government, it's a product of the activity of the chief of staff. So the chief of staff who handled the government for 8 years became governor again. So it's like transitioning from yourself to yourself and then did it perform. Spectacular failure. Spectacular one.
All right, so let me ask you this. When voters compare Governor Adeleke's record with promises of the opposition, why should they choose continuity over change?
According to Yoruba wisdom, a naked man cannot promise you clothes.
No, probably he might have washed his clothes.
Okay, that's why he's naked.
Or he just finished beating.
How can he have one clothes?
No, okay, what about if he just finished beating?
If somebody has not done
what about if he's
before,
feeling heat and he just felt like, oh, let me not wear clothes.
Let me just be naked.
Clothes. Yeah.
Let me just be naked.
I can decide to be naked.
Yeah, true. Now, there are according to Yoruba wisdom, there are other kinds of clothes that you can wear if you are hot. Then if you have abundance, why are you hot? If you have abundance, you would have AC or fan. Why are you hot? The product of it is because you don't have abundance. Now, these people have been, this is not theory. This is practical. Governor Adeleke has been governor for 3 years plus. These people have been governor for 12 years. Now, in 12 years, cumulatively, they can tell you what they've been able to do. If there is a party that has never been governor, before we became governor in 2022, what we're telling people is that when we become governor, we will do X, Y, Z. In fact, in one of the debates, BBC debates in Yoruba, in 2022, most of the things that Governor Adeleke is doing today, Oyetola said it that it is not possible. He said it in Yoruba. He said, they said that these things is not possible, but it's possible. Good governance is not rocket science. Good governance starts from the love of the people. What is the nature of you, yourself? If you are miserly, Toba Yahoo, you cannot benefit the people in any way. But if you yourself, you are a free-spirited people, if you are about the growth and development of your friends, then when you become governor, you will not watch your people suffer in abject poverty and penury when you have a convoy. That is what Governor Ademola Adeleke is doing. And that's why you will see that when you go to this junction, and then you go to Old Garage, and then you go to Ife, and then you go to Iwo, and then you go to Ila, and then you go to Ede, you will see yellow caps, a symbol of Accord Party, a symbol of development. Let me tell you, it is very difficult for you to leave an established party to go to a new party and then become popular. According to Yoruba wisdom, you cannot try it. But Governor Ademola Adeleke has organic followership before he became governor. He has also proven while he has become governor that this confidence that we've reposed in him is right. People are following him. They don't have to be induced by money. They don't have to be induced by anything. In fact, when I go to places, people challenge me for not giving them enough caps. People want to identify with us in every situation.
But you're not putting on the cap right now.
Exactly, because I am coming to your event, and I don't want to make it political.
Oh, okay.
But anybody that knows me, in fact, if you put my name on your phone and then you check Truecaller, it will bring you either Sheyi PDP or Sheyi Adeleke. So I don't even have to explain myself. If you know me, if you've seen me, if you know people that know me, they know that I identify with the governor, whether in PDP, whether in Accord, or even Elewe Njewe party.
All right, so I think so far so good. It's been a very wonderful conversation, Honorable Sheyi. Now let's talk about the country at large. The President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Election is approaching. The heat is everywhere. The APC is still coming on. ADC is still coming on. I think another new party, NDC or so. Now, what would you have to say? Let's together rate the government of His Excellency, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What would you have to say about his government so far?
The President's government is nearly 3 years. And personally, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is my political alter ego. Somebody that I aspire to be like personally. This is a personal opinion. And as a government in Osun State, we're firmly in support of the continuity of this government, the government of the President. And exactly because, number one, there is the political consideration that the southern part of Nigeria, this is our turn. After the 8 years of President Buhari, and you remember very clearly that this was the beginning of the crisis that ended the People's Democratic Party. So for that one, that's one. Number two, I'm a bona fide Yoruba man. And according to our culture, when the bum of your child is big enough, you then don't put necklace on the bum of someone else's child.
But what if someone else's child knows how to use the bum much more better?
I don't think so. Some of the policies of this government that has made us to be here are things that is a must do. You see, before I got into government, I used to fantasize. I would say, I'll do this, and I'll do that, and I'll do this. But when you get into government, you then see a different reality totally. First subsidy is a scam, and it must go. If Jonathan had the confidence to do it in 2012, by today the country will be in a better place.
Now let me take you back. Former president, in person of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, for coming out to say he wants to take off this first subsidy. So if they are part of the reasons why he didn't do it then.
No, they are not part of the reasons.
Okay, how?
Let me tell you why. when Governor Ademola Adeleke wanted to do the Okefia Bridge,
Yeah.
the APC protested. Your opposition cannot be the one to show you direction. Jonathan is a for lack of word, is a very weak, very, very weak individual. May we never have a president like him again. You will make your decision. Your children cannot be the one to tell you the direction for you to take in terms of discipline them. When you were small, did your father not tell you to close your eyes and raise up your hand?
Yeah, why not?
Yes. Did he make you happy?
No.
Did you do it?
Yes.
Did he form into a better man that you are today?
Sure.
You take your decisions. You cannot be we can't have a president that is stupid enough to think that. Very stupid president, Jonathan. Very stupid man. Now, you can't have a president that then what he will do depends on what the opposition feels. You can't have that kind of president. This is one of the reasons why I admire President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You must take the decision that is in the best interest of the populace. Now, what is in the best interest of the populace will not come immediately. That's governance. For example, I'm from Ede. When they were there is no double lane in our town. There has never been an example of double lane in our town. In fact, all the roads were so bad. And then when they were trying to construct the roads in our place, for every construction, you must demolish. Our houses had to leave. Somebody on the road that is not from Ede, but we accepted the person, now said, no, he's going to court. They must not do this because it's going to affect his house. Then we started to remind him, hey, let us know what we're doing. No, you are not from this place. And then if you take our governor to court for wanting to construct road for us, you will be in trouble with us. Now, should we then say that we want to construct a road, somebody is angry, we should not do it again? So we cannot excuse Jonathan from the stupidity of his government. And that led to the downfall of his government because he doesn't have the... I heard that he wants to now run for president. I wonder who is advising him.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he has also said that he's going to consult. Let me tell you what politicians do. If a politician tells you that he wants to consult, he has made up his mind. They are not consulting anybody. But that's a foolish thing to do. You should go and sit down. He's a very weak individual. And anybody that is weak cannot be Nigeria's president.
But can we say this? Would you want to tell, or do you want to put it to me now, that the livelihood of every single Nigerian now under the leadership of our president is better? Because we all know what is really going on. And I'll have to say this, this tomato of a thing, naturally it's sold for 2,000, 3,000, 1,500, you will still get it and still feel okay. And all of a sudden, with your 6,000 naira, you can't buy a pail. At the moment, I personally bought for 7,000 naira. So how do you expect a man, a common Nigerian who cannot afford these things, to live a better life? If you are telling me that this present government is doing much more better and they are very, very okay with what they are doing at the moment, what do you have to say to the general public who cannot afford their daily needs?
The evidence of the positivity of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's economic policy, genuinely, I can say that it has not been felt by the people.
It has not been felt
by the people.
Really?
Yes, it has not. What I mean is that
when you say it has not been felt by the people, how do you
now? I mean that it will produce positive results.
When?
But it has not yet produced any positive result. In fact,
not producing result at the moment is putting Nigerians into a tight corner. A lot of people are going through a lot.
I strongly agree with you. But that is also as good as you having a defective building. If you have a defective building, you must tear it down. When you tear it down, you become homeless or you sleep in hotels or with your friends and then you must bring it up. But do you want to manage in a home with defective foundation? I don't think so.
Okay, now, if you are talking about manage the building and all of that, that is if you don't really have a family. You want to be moving your family all around. So the president also needs to understand that he's not just dealing with himself. He's not just dealing with his family. He's dealing with Nigerians at large. The life of over 200 million people are in line with this.
That is why the country will not get better until we start to ask everybody the right questions.
Which is?
The president has freed subsidy. There is more money coming into the coffers of the federal government. There are 36 states with governors, plus one, the FCT minister. The president gives them money. There are 774 local governments. The president gives them money. There are ministries, there are agencies, there are parastatals. There are 108, 109 senators. There are 360 reps. If 360 reps are doing their job, 36 governors are doing their bits, 109 senators are doing their bits, the president is doing his bit, 36 governors and the FCC minister is doing their bit, we will not be here.
Can I ask you this question? I think this will be the last question I will be asking you. If you tell me that these people you've lined up, now you said we'll remove subsidy, which was supposed to help the government pull back funds into the government's purse. So why are we still borrowing?
I am not, okay, I must explain that I'm not a spokesperson of the president, but what I know for a fact is that our own government in Osun has not borrowed because there is no need to. But what I know is that the government of Buhari, in all honesty, ran this country aground. And I'm not in the shoes of the president. I've told you that before I got into government, I thought that by now I would have turned all the empty land in Osun State to El Dorado, and then there will be like 50,000 companies. But when you get into that place, you will see that the reality is different from when you're looking at it from outside. It's like a man that has a girlfriend. If you have a girlfriend, after 1 week or 2 weeks, it will even make you feel like the girl is the best in life. And then when you marry the girl, you will see a new reality. When you're in government, the governor or the president knows where the shoe pinches. But one thing I know for sure is that the president has the best interest of the people of Nigeria at heart. And I also know that if we continue with this policy direction, eventually there is light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, at this point, Honorable Oluwaseyi Olaitan, I would like you to give your word for now, because I know too well that there might be need for you to still come back on this show. There might be need for you to still come, but for now, kindly help me give your wrap-up speech.
So rounding off, I thank the people of Osun State for supporting the people's governor, Governor Ademola Adeleke. I also implore them to continue to support the governor, and I also assure the governor has assured us both privately, personal encounters, and publicly that he will continue in this direction. And this is the direction to positivity. This is the direction to more development. This is the direction to sustainable development. And I can assure our people, the civil servants, the market women, the artisans, the traders, the young people of the states, that the governor is leading us and is going to continue to carry us along sufficiently. We should reward him with a second tenure so that he can complete the projects that he has embarked upon and also do new ones, so that we will not go back to a state where we'll be in our former situation.
All right, thank you very much for coming on the show.
You're welcome. My
I
pleasure.
really do appreciate, and I hope that when I call you next time, we'll be here to talk.
I'm always available.
All right, you still Free Flow, brought to you by RK Records. It's been a wonderful flow since we've been together with Honorable Oluwaseyi Olaitan, the Special Assistant to the Governor of Osun State on Investment Promotion Agency, and also the Tactical Advisor Research Planning Strategy of the Governor Campaign Council, TICC. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we're still going to come back with another episode. Like we always say at RK Records, it's a free flow where conversations are raw, unfiltered, and necessary. I'll see you at the next episode. Have a lovely day.